Hi, and welcome back to the Critical Path to a Killer Resume. Tip number 3, education. Surprisingly, there are a few things to talk about in this relatively short section. The first question that I always get, at least from my clients over the age of 40, is should I date my education or should I leave the date off? And I understand their concern. To date or not to date, that is the question. No one wants to be perceived as too experienced or, quite frankly, too old for the roles that they're applying for. And it is a valid concern because, like it or not, age discrimination still does run rampant. However, I know a number of hiring managers who just won't call you in for an interview if you don't have your date on your education. Why? Because they wonder if you've actually completed that degree or if you're trying to hide something, or if you might be hiding other things on your resume, not just the date that you graduated from university. So to date or not to date, unfortunately, that's a question only you can answer. There is a question that I can answer though. Where should you put it? Should you put it at the top or not? My rule of thumb here is that if you went to a university that you were proud of, if it has a good reputation, or you went to a program in good standing, or if you got good grades, you graduated with honors or with distinction, certainly you want to list your education at the very top of your resume because you want to highlight those things. However, if your grades were okay or your university was okay, if nothing really outstanding jumps out in the education section, it's perfectly fine to put it at the bottom of the resume. There's no real right answer on that one. The third question that I always get is, should I list my high school or my secondary school? My rule of thumb here is, if you have a university education, there's really no need to list your high school or your secondary school. But there is an exception to that. If you went to one of those prestigious schools that will open doors for you, a private school or a school that's well recognized again in the community, if there's a good chance that there's an alumni reading your resume that might want to interview you just because you went to the same high school, then certainly put it on the resume. But if not, leave it out, especially if you do have a university degree. And then finally, professional education, professional qualifications rather. This one's easy. Professional qualifications should always go at the top, especially if they relate to the role that you're applying for. But be careful if you're still proceeding through a program, if you haven't quite gotten the qualification yet, make sure that you list that it's in progress. If you don't, then it could be perceived that you're trying to tell the reader that you've actually completed a qualification when you haven't. So just be careful of that. So there it is, the education section. To date or not to date, put it at the top if it's something to be proud of. Otherwise, at the end, it's just perfectly fine. Only list your secondary school if it will open doors for you, and always list your professional qualifications at the top. So I've got a free bonus for you guys. I've created a resume template that you can use to easily cut and paste your information into a format that I know works. I created this resume template after reviewing 150,000 resumes and helping hundreds write their own killer resume. So go to www.kimseelingsmith.com, my website, /resume-template / to download your own resume template that you can use to cut and paste your information into. Now, if you've been enjoying these tips, then please subscribe so you don't miss any of them. I'm going to be giving you everything that you need to know about writing a killer resume, about preparing for interviews, about networking with your own network of contacts, developing an online profile that will really get recognized, including LinkedIn, which will allow you to interview while you sleep. I'll be helping you manage your own job search and do the scariest thing of all, approach companies directly. It might be scary, but it's actually the most effective technique that people can use to look for jobs. And I'll be teaching you how to do everything with a positive attitude to keep yourself positive and motivated through this sometimes very stressful process. So subscribe here so you don't miss any of the tips that I will be posting every day to 3 days probably. And if you know of people looking for jobs, tell them about these videos. Tell your friends about these YouTube channels. I'm really, really excited about sharing these tips with everybody. So thanks again.